Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. I am gonna try to keep this one kind of short. The newest issue of Amazing Spider-Man, number 76, came out today. I read it like as soon as it dropped at like 3 a.m. my time on Comixology. Because I don't have room for physical books anymore. And I will say, I really liked it. Now, I really liked the last issue, which seems like kind of an unpopular opinion. I will say that if you're one of those people who didn't like Ben's attitude in the last issue, if you thought that Ben Reilly kind of came off as a jerk when he had that meeting with Peter, wow, that's a weird way to say Peter. I'm sorry. I'm still waking up. Peter in the coffee shop or the cafe or wherever it was. I think it was a cafe. If you had a problem with that interaction, I think I did not. I read it completely differently from how a lot of other people seem to read it. But if you had issues with it, I think this issue will make it a lot better because that is directly addressed. Peter is really hurt. Of course, after the fight with the UFOs in the last issue, got hit with a giant burst of radiation. Why can't I talk today? Radiation. Ben's suit protected him. It being a gajillion dollar suit, outfitted to him by the Beyond Corporation. Peter was not so lucky. He's just wearing a regular cloth/spandex suit. So he gets flooded with this radiation and he's laid the fuck out. And Ben is an absolute bro who is genuinely concerned about Peter and gets him to the hospital immediately. Arranges it so that Aunt May and Mary Jane are both there at the hospital. There's a great moment. He calls Aunt May. And at first he tries to come up with some bullshit excuse about like who he is. And then finally he just says like, hey, it's Peter. I'm at the hospital. I got hurt, and cause it's Peter's voice. Right. I love what Zeb Wells is doing with the concept of clones. That's he seems to be acknowledging the fact that Peter and Ben are the same person biologically in a way that I don't think was ever really delved into in any of the previous clone stuff. And I'm here for it. It's just it's like there was untapped potential there. And I feel like Zeb Wells is really delving into it. So, he finally just says, hey, it's Peter. I got hurt bad. I'm in the hospital. So then Aunt May has this moment after she hangs up where she goes, that wasn't Peter, which is it's a little thing, but it's like, yeah, it's cool because she would know because she's his aunt. She's like practically his parent. And she, the voice might be the same, but she could pick up on the differences. And I just thought it was cool. So the whole family rushes to Peter's bedside. And Ben has already bailed. And at first I'm like, okay, but I thought it was common knowledge that like he was your cousin. Like, couldn't you just use that? Like, not in front of Aunt May, obviously, but like with the doctors and everybody else, like, couldn't you just? And then I realized, oh, wait, like Ben Reilly, like civilian Ben Reilly, like he died. Like publicly. Shit. So I can't just be like, I'm the cousin. So yeah, the 90s ain't gonna fly here, I guess. But yeah, Ben just bails because that's just an uncomfortable conversation to have. And we just get like lots of great moments with May and MJ, and that's dope. So basically what it comes down to is Ben decides that it's not right. He can't go after the UFOs. He can't keep being Spider-Man without Peter's blessing. So he goes back, has a confrontation with Mary Jane, and then directly implores Peter like, hey man, I need your blessing to do this. And it's a beautiful conversation. And Peter says, yeah, go get it. And then we have a really wonderful juxtaposition between, Ben is suiting up with renewed enthusiasm for being Spider-Man because now he has Peter's blessing, which is all he wanted. Now he's like ready to go. Here we go. He's all hyped. And he's like on top of the world, blah, blah, blah. That's juxtaposed with Peter going into a coma because his health has taken a nosedive with all the radiation poisoning. So Ben goes on, kicks the fucking crap out of the UFOs. And it's great. That's the issue. Like that's the issue. It's a pretty simple issue. It's some heartfelt conversation and Ben Reilly kicking the shit out of the UFOs. It's cool, man. I'm here for it. I enjoyed it. I don't really have that much to say about this, which is why I knew this was going to be a fucking video of unparalleled brevity for this channel. But it's a simplistic issue. If you had problems with the way that Ben and Peter talked in the previous issue in the cafe, that gets directly addressed here when Peter and Ben talk, and Ben's looking for his blessing. You know, Peter says, "I thought you weren't asking," and Ben says, "Hey, my therapist says that I'm not used to getting what I need, so I don't know how to ask. And it's something I got to work on. So this is me asking," which, you know, these issues are done ahead of time. So there's no way that this is a response to criticism from like a week ago. So that to me suggests that Zeb Wells is an even better writer than I gave him credit for, because he planned that out. Here's what I'll say. Zeb Wells, I know, gets a lot of shit because, he supposedly wrote the worst Spider-Man story of all time, Shed, in which Kurt Connors, the lizard, eats his family. Now, I totally understand why people don't like that. I haven't read it. Now, there's a difference between story concepts and the quality of the writing. I find it interesting that I've heard almost polar opposite opinions about Zeb Wells. I've heard wow, the comics he has written, the writing's really good. And then I've heard people say, yeah, but Shed is the worst Spider-Man story of all time. Here's what I'll say about that. J. Michael Straczynski, I feel, did the best run on Spider-Man of all time. I really, truly believe that still to this day. It's not a perfect run, but I absolutely love it. J. Michael Straczynski had to write one more day. Or not one more day. No, yeah, one more day. J. Michael Straczynski had to write one more day. Now, I think we've kind of established he had to write it at gunpoint. But he wrote one more day. He also wrote Sins Past, and I do think Sins Past, if I'm not mistaken, was entirely his idea. So he had a bad fucking idea. He had a miss, all right? And he's my favorite Spider-Man writer. It is possible for great writers to write bad stories. It happens. 2 issues in, this is all I've read from Zeb Wells, at least that I know of. I might have read some stuff in the past without realizing who it was, but as far as I know, this is all I've read from Zeb Wells. We're 2 issues in. I'm having a blast. I love this shit. And I think the writing is really good. I think it's more solid than Nick Spencer's. And I thought that some of Nick Spencer's writing was pretty fucking good. This feels like Spider-Man to me. These feel like these first 2 issues. I love the way they're written. I feel like it's so tight. And you know what I love about it? Okay. I was trying to keep it under 10 minutes. Let's try to keep it under 12 because I got something to say. Do you know what I love about these Zeb Wells books? All 2 of them so far. One of my biggest complaints is that I talked about this a couple of videos back. Spider-Man is at his best where most of the book is Peter Parker. Because back in the day, even if you go back and you read those Stan Lee, Steve Ditko books, whatever, the first 50 to 100 issues of ASM, even beyond Lee and Ditko, you know what I mean? If you go back and you read the classic stuff, most of the book is Peter being Peter, and half to a third of the book is Spider-Man shit. At least that's how I remember it. I remember the Peter Parker everyday stuff being a lot more prominent. That's not to say I want Spider-Man to be a full-on slice of life book, but what I am saying is that it's the struggles of Peter Parker, it's the drama and the love stories and the mundanity that, when juxtaposed with the high-flying superheroics, like, give everything so much more meaning, you know? Both issues so far, Zeb Wells has given equal weight to both Spider-Men. He's given us lots of time with their supporting casts. We've got Janine, Aunt May, and Mary Jane all popping up, featured heavily. And what was one of my biggest complaints about the Spencer run, outside of the fucking terrible ending, that he was like juggling too many plates in the air and we didn't get to see like any of the cast. They just kind of faded away. Robbie, after a point, is barely in the book. May, where's she? Mary Jane, she poof. Like, it's just, you know, it was such a missed opportunity. And I feel like so far, Zeb Wells, the supporting cast, has been in every issue. Now, realistically, do I know if that's going to be a thing going forward? I don't know. It'd be cool if it were. And I'm hopeful, because I just get good vibes. Now, whether that's just me like being so burned and now I'm just trying to be optimistic, I don't know, but I'm having a good time. And I think that if you can get over clone cringe and you can put aside whatever understandably hurt feelings you might have over the train wreck that was the Spencer run's ending, if you can put all that aside and just enjoy this as a cool comic book story about the passing of the torch and lessons learned, I think you're going to have a really good time. Ben, it's been all but confirmed Ben Reilly is only going to be here for about 25 issues. So let's give the man room to breathe, or swing, as it were. All right? Let's see how this shakes out. I'm excited to see where this goes. Anyway, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Okay, likes and comments especially are huge. They really help the growth of this channel. This channel's been blowing up. I think we're on track to clear 100 like before the end of the year, which is never something I thought I would be able to say, but we're doing really well. And I actually feel pretty confident that, yeah, as long as I keep these videos coming out, we're going to do it. So like, comment, subscribe. If you would like to help me out monetarily, there's a link down below. You can buy me a coffee. The recommended donation, the minimum donation, I think is $3. But you can do more, which somebody did the other day. Thank you for the very generous donation. I really appreciate it. That paid for my Hulu subscription. So every little bit helps. I thank you so much. But until next time, guys, there's going to be a couple more videos this week. And then, of course, when the next issue comes out, I'll handle that as well. I will probably do the standalone Ben Reilly series as well when that drops, I think in a month or two. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, last thing. Are there any books that are coming out now that you think I should cover on this channel? Is there something that is currently running that you think is worth taking a look at? Because my actual pull list right now is kind of sparse. I'm not following that many comics. I'm reading a lot of manga. I'm not doing a lot of American comics. I know there's a bunch of crazy indie stuff out right now, so if you have recommendations, hit me up. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. As always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.